नमस्कार स्वागत छ NorthEast WebShots मा आजको एपिसोड सेकेन्ड थटफुल थर्सडे को तपाईलाई स्वागत गर्दै गर्दा हामीसँग यस्तो व्यक्तित्व हुनुहुन्छ जसले अघिबाट नै धेरैवटा इन्टरनेशनल ऑडियन्सेसहरुसँग बातचित गरिसक्नु भएको छ इज नट जस्ट अ मेन्टर बट अल्सो हैज बीन अ ज्युरी मेम्बर उहाँको परिचय दिन पर्दाखेरि ही इज Indian Ambassador for Sustainable Development. He is none other than Mr. Tathagat Sharma. उहाँ हामीसँग आज NorthEast WebShots को स्टुडियोमा हुनुहुन्छ। त आजको थटफुल थर्सडेमा हजुरहरूलाई स्वागत गर्दै यो एपिसोडलाई सुरु गर्नेछौँ। First of all, welcome to NorthEast WebShots, Tathagat. So you are born to C.S. Sharma sir and Mamta Upreti madam, है? So तपाई आजको दिनमा जसरी धेरैजना ऑडियन्सेसहरुले तपाईको थट्स तपाईको कामलाई हेरेर मन पराइ पनि राख्नु भएको छ सो हाम्रो वेबशट्स को पोस्टमा पनि अलरेडी तपाईले धेरै प्रेम पाइ राख्नु भएको छ सो फर्स्टमै सुरु गर्दै गर्दाखेरि व्हाट मेसेज यु वान्ट टु से टु योर पेरेन्ट्स
a big thank you to them for always being supportive उहाँहरुले गर्दा नै आज म जे पनि बनेको छु उहाँले गर्दा नै हो my dad and my mom they're very supportive to whatever I do हुन्छ नि कहिले पनि नो भन्नु हुँदैन जस्तै यस्तो केही पार्टिसिपेट गर्दाखेरि नगर न भन्ने कहिले पनि गर्नु हुँदैन जहिले पनि एन्करेज गर्नुहुन्छ हो अन्त अझै मम ड्याडले त जहिले पनि मलाई पुश गर्नुहुन्छ कि यु क्यान डु बेटर देन दिस भनेर हुन्छ नि अन्त यो फर्स्ट मेरो समिटको पनि गर्दाखेरि it was not a fully paid summit हुन्छ नि I had to put in some amount of money so त्यो गर्दाखेरि it was not a no from them हुन्छ नि you do what you want to हुन्छ नि we are there for you त्यो पैसाको चिन्ता नगर त्यस्तो खालके सपोर्ट गर्नुहुन्थ्यो मलाई जहिले अन्त मम र ड्याड चाहिँ दुईजनै जहिले पनि मेरो दाजु पनि मेरो एल्डर ब्रदर पनि हुनुहुन्छ and my family friends the people I am surrounded with सबैले मलाई जहिले पनि सपोर्ट नै दिनु भएको छ
wow so before we talk about your works तपाई कसरी यो जुन चाहिँ मुकाममा पुग्नु भएको छ नि still there is lot more to go यहाँ चाहिँ तपाईको जर्नी अलिकति भन्दिनुस् न so we will have some background
okay so I passed out from Tashinamgal Academy Gangtok त्यहाँ मैले 12 सम्म पढाइ गरेको त्यहाँदेखि चाहिँ I moved to Amity University Kolkata कलेजको फर्स्ट इयरमा हुँदाखेरि चाहिँ I came across this post on Instagram about this summit so I applied so there were rounds of selection and I got selected through and that's how I went to my first summit in Malaysia I went to Kuala Lumpur from then on that was the summit where we were designated as global action ambassadors the ambassadors for sustainable development goals त्यो चाहिँ फर्स्ट मेरो SDGs को summit मा अटेन्ड गरेको त्यहाँदेखि I attended a youth summit in Gangtok and started working त्यसरी चाहिँ I started working for the SDGs हो अन्त हाम्रो कोलैबोरेसन चाहिँ Youth Now 2030 भन्ने अर्गनाइजेसन इन्डोनेसिया को हो उहाँहरु चाहिँ official partners of UN Habitat हुनुहुन्छ so we got directly connected to UN Habitat which is an organ of the UN त्यहाँबाट गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ that's how we started working on SDGs I got friends from abroad friends here who started working with us त्यहाँदेखि चाहिँ I started conducting workshops in my school college I got invited to give a talk about SDGs to Management and Science University Malaysia त्यो पनि webinars भएको थियो कोभिड सिचुएसनले गर्दाखेरि and from then after that I have done a number of workshops made videos content related to SDGs and read about it हुन्छ नि so I try to spread the idea that यो चाहिँ केही पनि त्यस्तो सारो कुरा हैन it's very simple हैन sustainability concept should be there in everyday life that's what I try to promote and it's a very simple concept it's not complicated त्यो भनेर चाहिँ that's how I got into this and recently I got this invitation from Studek International for being a part of the jury and mentor for this summit Asia Pacific Youth SDG Summit हालैमा सम्पन्न भएको so त्यहाँ चाहिँ what was the summit was there were about 450 delegates from around 29 countries so we were divided into different groups and we had to mentor each group हामीले चाहिँ फर्स्टमा आउँदा SDGs के हो कसरी बुझ्नु के गर्नु आफ्नो कम्युनिटीमा के गर्नु सक्छ त्यहाँदेखि चाहिँ एउटा SDGs आइडियाको प्रोजेक्ट बनाउनु सिकायो then when they finished with their project and presentations ready थियो then we were judging those presentations so that was it till now
yeah virtual भयो यो पाली
हजुर
so your experience was really good
yeah I think one thing that I learned was that there are so many talented people in this age group हुन्छ नि 17 18 20 21 हाम्रै एज ग्रुपमा भनौं न कि त्यो खालके एसडिजी आइडिया आई डोन्ट थिङ्क एनी गभर्मेन्ट्स क्यान इम्प्लिमेन्ट त्यस्तो छिटो छिटो द काइन्ड अफ आइडियाज दे केम अप विथ अबाउट हाउ दे कुड सल्भ वाटर प्रब्लम्स हङ्गर प्रब्लम्स हुन्छ नि आफ्नै लोकल कम्युनिटीमा पनि कति डिटेल्समा चाहिँ उनीहरूले प्रब्लम्स देखेको रहेछ त्यो खालके अवेरनेस चाहिँ द्याट्स वाट आई रियलाइज एन्ड आई थिङ्क इट वाज अ भेरी गुड एक्सपिरियन्स फर मी
सो फ्रम बिङ अ नर्मल कलेज गोइङ स्टुडेन्ट टु नाउ एन एम्बेसेडर वाट इज द डिफरेन्स द्याट यु सी इन योरसेल्फ
Firstly, I have to be much more responsible. So I always carry the sense that whenever I'm going out, moving out of my house, even if I'm in, I have to be more responsible than the average because मैले कतिवटा कुरा consciously भन्नु हुँदैन. जस्तै what I do is normally I started this campaign for no plastic straws. So what happens was initially when I used to go out with my friends, त्यो फ्रेन्ड्ससँग गफ गर्दा गर्दा बिर्सिन्छ नि अब तपाईँले होइन अन्त त्यो स्ट्र ल्याएपछि चाहिँ कुन कस्तो गिल्टी लाग्दो रहेछ आफूलाई हुन्छ नि द्याट्स वेन आई स्टार्टेड डुइङ दिस कि एभ्री टाइम आई गो टु अ रेस्टुरेन्ट आई रिफ्युज द स्ट्र लाइक स्ट्र नदिनुहोस् मलाई भनेर हो अदरवाइज आई डोन्ट बाई टेट्रा प्याक्स आई कन्ज्युम भेरी लेस नाउ डेज सो दोज काइन्ड अफ कन्सियस स्मल डिसिजन्स द्याट आई मेक त्यस्तो डिफरेन्स छैन किनभने आइ एम स्टिल अ स्टुडेन्ट हुन्छ नि इट्स लाइक दिस इज नट अ फुल टाइम जब फर मी so I'm still learning how to be one हुन्छ नि ग्लोबल सिटिजन्स भनेर हामीलाई ट्याग दिन्छ बाहिरबाट पनि भन्दाखेरि अन्त whenever they say that एउटा certain sense of responsibility comes along with that so I try to keep up with that I try to stay normal otherwise as a normal student तर yes I'm much more conscious than before
and more responsible as well okay now talking about sustainable development जुन चाहिँ तपाईले भन्नुभयो straw को कुरा it's a small thing but then it adds a lot more value when we practice every day so according to you sustainable development goals लाई तपाईले एकदम simple भाषामा कसरी define गर्नुहुन्छ
when you consume I'll give the definition first in English I think when you first consume produce or carry out any activity but do not exhaust your resources हुन्छ नि हामीले यो जेनेरेसनमा रिसोर्स कन्ज्युम त गर्यो तर फ्युचर जेनेरेसनलाई पनि इनफ छोडिदिनु पर्यो हामीले अहिले नै डल्लै सकेर चाहिँ फ्युचरै डिस्ट्रोय गर्ने खालको सिचुएसन चाहिँ बनाउनु भएन द्याट्स वेयर द कन्सेप्ट अफ डेभलपमेन्ट कम्स किनभने वी आर डेभलपिङ आवरसेल्भ्स बट सस्टेनेबल कम्स वेन वी आर लिभिङ समथिङ फर द रेस्ट हुन्छ नि जस्तै तपाईँले एउटा घर बनाउनु भयो अहिले तपाईँले त्यो घर तपाईँको नानी तपाईँको पनाती सबैको पास अन हुँदै जान्छ त्यो घर चाहिँ तपाईँले मजबुत बनाउनु भएको छ अरे भने त्यो चलिबस्छ तर त्यो घर कच्चा छ भने त यु क्यानट कन्टिन्यू इट फर द नेक्स्ट जेनेरेसन नि सो यु वेस्टेड अ रिसोर्स देयर सो इभन द्याट वे रेजिलियन्ट इन्फ्रास्ट्रक्चर जुन चाहिँ हामी भन्छ कि जुन चाहिँ विल सर्भाइभ अर्थक्वेक्स नेचुरल क्यालामिटिजले छिट्टो भत्किँदैन किनभने वाट वी सी नाउ इज रिसोर्सेस पुरा कम्ती छ एन्ड मान्छे पुरा बढेर जाँदैछ तपाईँको पपुलेसन पुरा बढ्दैछ रिसोर्स बढेको छैन नि त्यो कुरा बुझ्नुको लागि चाहिँ सस्टेनेबल डेभलपमेन्ट इज इम्पोर्टेन्ट
सो इन्डियामा अहिले पोरेस्ट अफ द पोर धेरै हुनुभएको छ सो सस्टेनेबल डेभलपमेन्ट चाहिँ मान्छेले डे टु डे लाइफमा कस्तो कस्तो कुरामा र कसरी लिन सक्नुहुन्छ
इट्स भेरी सिम्पल त्यसमा तपाईँको पोरेस्ट अफ द पोर र रिचमा डिफ्रेन्स हुँदैन यसमा चाहिँ किन भन्दाखेरि एसडिजी चाहिँ युनिभर्सल हो तपाईँको इट इज एज मच अ पार्ट अफ द रिच एज इट इज पार्ट अफ द पोर हुन्छ नि एक्चुली इट्स द पुवर पपुलेसन जसले चाहिँ एक्चुली मोर कन्ट्रिब्युट गर्छ तपाईँको दे कन्ज्युम लेस सो दे एक्चुली युजिङ लेस रिसोर्सेस इभन इफ दे क्रिएटिङ वेस्ट उनीहरूको वेस्ट त्यो रिच मान्छेभन्दा बहुत कम्ती हुन्छ वाट आइड से इज बेसिकली तपाईँ वेन यु प्लान्ट ट्रिज you have a good green environment in your house हैन तपाई try to make maintain cleanliness waste management राम्रो गर्नुहुन्छ तपाई बेसिक घरको आफ्नो रुमको दैलोको हुन्छ नि त्यसरी तपाई मिलाउनु or you can do small things like just refusing plastic straws carrying your own shopping bag when you're going out when you are using something to its fullest जस्तै एउटा पेन्सिल चाहिँ तपाई जबसम्म त्यो सकिँदैन चलाउनु these are concepts of sustainability हुन्छ नि so it's not something like you have to go to conferences and give talks but it's about how you use it in your daily life as simple things like that
so lifestyle ma ke changes एउटा student ले ल्याउन सक्छ sustainable development को लागि
very simple students need to first be conscious कि उनीहरु के consume के किन्दैछ हैन unnecessary कुरा किनि बस्नु परेन that's one concept of sustainability for them another thing is उनीहरुले किताब खाता गर्दाखेरि especially for students when you're using your copies to your fullest I think that's also right किनभने हामी के गर्थ्यौ भन्दा I also remember this as a childhood memory कि लेख्यो एउटा खाता त नि नयाँ सेमेस्टर आयो नयाँ खाता चाहियो I think we can stop that now because I don't think त्यो पहिलाको जस्तो एउटा नयाँमा उयो हुनु जरुरी छैन नि तपाईँ त्यही पुरानै खातामा लेखेर पनि त्यही कुरा याद गर्न सक्नुहुन्छ other things they can do is when they're going out with friends don't throw it anywhere because अब ड्राइभ्समा जान्छ साथीहरूसँग रेस्टुरेन्ट हजुर जान्छ घुम्नु जान्छ त्यो जतासुकै नफ्याँक्दिनु डस्टबिनमा फ्याँक्दिनु राइट काइन्ड अफ डिस्पोजल दिज आर थिङ्स द्याट आई थिङ्क स्टुडेन्ट्स क्यान
आई थिङ्क अर्को चाहिँ रिफिल युज गर्नुपर्ने इज वान अफ
या आई थिङ्क
अल्सो लाइक पेन पेपर्स
या द्याट वुड वर्क वन्डर्स तर त्यसमा चाहिँ प्रब्लम के हुन्छ भन्दा तपाईँको इङ्क पेनमा चाहिँ स्टुडेन्ट्सलाई साह्रो पर्दो रहेछ हुन्छ नि तपाईँको त्यो इङ्क लिक भएर मैला भएर हुँदो रहेछ कि सो इफ दे मेक इट अ ह्याबिट कि स्कुल्समै कम्पलसरी पारिदियो भने चाहिँ इट वुड बी इजियर फर द स्टुडेन्ट्स बिकज इफ एभ्रीबडी इज राइटिङ विथ इङ्क पेन्स तपाईँको एकजनाको रिफिल अर्कोलाई पनि काम लाग्यो अन्त वेन एभ्रीबडी लर्न्स द सेम वे त्यो फिल्दिनेस पनि घट्छ नि अब डट पेन सबैले लेख्दैछ भने म मात्रै इङ्क पेन लेख्दाखेरि मलाई आफै अड लाग्छ बट एक्चुली द्याट्स बेटर फर यु नो सोसाइटी किनभने तपाईँ रिफिल युज गर्दाखेरि युजिङ लेस अफ प्लास्टिक
नाउ कमिङ टु युथ चाहिँ एज अ युथ चाहिँ वाट क्यान वान डु
एज अ युथ
And also let's add climate change issues also.
Okay, as youth, the first thing that you need to do is be conscious. First thing is conscious
and educate others.
As well, educate others and make changes in yourself first, then automatically change अरूमा आइहाल्छ मैले भोलिदेखि चाहिँ suppose बजार जाँदाखेरि चाहिँ I don't you know use plastics or anything and I use jute bags or something. एक दुई दिन odd लाग्ला तर after a few days maybe others will also follow you. So that kind of change they can bring. What they can also do is I think be more responsible in what they say, what they do. हैन तपाईको सस्टेनेबल डेभलपमेन्ट गोल्समा क्लाइमेट चेन्ज इश्युजको लागि त मेबी प्लान्टिङ ट्रिज अर कन्ज्युमिङ लेस माइट वर्क तर द अदर एस्पेक्ट्स टु इट इज वेयर यु हेभ क्वालिटी एजुकेसन हैन यु फोकस अन यर ओन एजुकेसन्स क्वालिटी तपाईँ कुनै निडी किडलाई हेल्प गरिदिनु हैन तपाईँको स्कुलमा कोही जुनियरको पैसा कम्ती भएर उसको के अरे स्कुलको फिसको कन्ट्रिब्युट गरिदिनुहोस् नभए यु नो यु हेल्प समबडी गेट गुड एजुकेसन you teach your juniors or help out your seniors or you know those kind of small things they can do as youths when you are going to jobs I know maybe carry your own mug and your bottle of water so that your plastic bottle kinnu pardaina office ma
like you just did
that's what I normally try to follow obviously here I'll tell you something also ki as humans we do make mistakes huncha ni mamko khela birsinchu aba hatarma niskeko huncha ke huncha so त्यति बेला चाहिँ what happens is those few times is forgiven तर when you make it a habit slowly it comes onto you naturally हुन्छ नि जस्तै मलाई अब बाहिर निस्किँदा बानी लागिसकेको छ सो म बोतल क्यारी गरिहाल्छु त्यसो गर्दाखेरि आफ्नो सानो सानो बानी चेन्ज गर्नु हो तपाईँ डोन्ट बाई फास्ट फ्यासन हुन्छ नि जुन चाहिँ तपाईँको यो सिन एचएनएमहरू छ you can buy because obviously you would like to wear something trendy हैन तर don't buy too many of them हुन्छ maybe go for slow fashion items or maybe use your old clothes more often हैन बेसी नकिन्नु नयाँ किनभने हामीले कन्जम्सन प्रोसेसमा मात्रै रोक्नु सक्छ नि बिकज वी क्यानट एन्टर द फ्याक्ट्री एन्ड टेल देम टु स्टप प्रड्युसिङ हो द्याट इज पार्ट अफ द गभर्मेन्ट एन्ड हाउ अर्गनाइजेसन्स द्याट वर्क फर इट कि सो एज युथ चाहिँ द्याट स्मल ह्याबिट्समा चेन्ज गर्नु क्या हो तपाईँको हाउ यु क्यान यु नो टक टु अदर्स प्रपरली होइन जेन्डर इक्वालिटी तपाईँ वुमेन एम्पावरमेन्टमा बोलिदिनु होइन आफ्नो घरमा यु नो मेक स्योर एभ्रीबडी इज ट्रिटेड इक्वली हैन हाम्रो कतिवटा घरमा अरूहरू आएर काम गर्ने हुन्छ भाडा मोल्दिने कोही के गर्ने हुन्छ उनीहरूसँग राम्ररी बोल्नु ट्रिट देम लाइक ह्युमन्स आई थिङ्क द्याट्स अल्सो हाउ यु प्रमोट द आइडिया अफ सस्टेनेबिलिटी बिकज एट द एन्ड अफ द डे इट्स अल्सो अबाउट बिङ बेटर ह्युमन बिङ्स नि
सो टकिङ अबाउट सिक्किम ओन्ली है देयर आर लट्स अफ युथ अनि अहिले चाहिँ लाइक अनलाइन सपिङ ट्रेन्डमा एकदम सबैले गर्नुहुन्छ सो वाट डु हेभ टु से बिकज अनलाइन सपिङको जुन प्याकेजिङ हुन्छ दे आर अल प्लास्टिक बेस्ड सो वाट
आई वुड से कि आई डोन्ट थिङ्क देयर इज नथिङ रङ विथ अनलाइन shopping हो किनभने म पनि आफै गर्छु सो what I'd say is you can use those plastics for something else कि तपाईँ प्याकेजिङ आउँछ राम्ररी खोलिदिनु त्यो प्याकेट त एक पार्ट त अलिकति काटेर फ्याँक्दा हुन्छ रिमेनिङ अफ द प्याकेजिङ यु क्यान युज इट फर कम्पोस्टिङ इफ इट्स गत्ता होइन अरू तपाईँको प्लास्टिक छ भने यु क्यान युज इट टु स्टोर समथिङ युज इट फर अ लङ टाइम not that you have to completely avoid because these are also businesses people are employed त्यो पनि एस्पेक्ट हेर्नु पर्यो तर I feel you can do that you know use it again हैन घरिघरि नकिन्नु कि किन्दाखेरि बल्कमा किन्नु so that it can all come in one packaging हुन्छ नि त्यसरी हेर्दा हुन्छ तपाईले
सिक्किम मिल्कको पनि त्यही छैन जुन चाहिँ प्लास्टिक हुन्छ त्यो पनि they are taking back names
there are many actually I just got a hamper I want to give away recently with the whole truth foods भन्ने कि they are a vegan company रहेछ but what they do is they tell you to send back the wrappers सो देयर आर कम्पनीज विच वर्क लाइक द्याट लाइक सिक्किम मिल्कको पनि तपाईँ ऱ्यापर्स धोएर राखेर बादमा वापस दिँदा हुन्छ नि त्यस्तो चाहिँ तपाईँले आफै अन अ पर्सनल लेभल गर्दा हुन्छ जस्तै तपाईँ बिस्किटको प्याकेट किन्नुहुन्छ instead of buying one small packet of 5 rupees or 10 rupees, why don't you buy a packet of 50 rupees? तपाईँ ठुलो प्याकेट किने त स्टोर गर्नु पनि काम लाग्यो तब बिस्किट पनि त्यो वेस्ट हुँदैन नि सजिलो सानो सानो 10वटा प्याकेट किन्दाखेरि चाहिँ यु आर क्रिएटिङ मोर अफ प्लास्टिक्स नि आई थिङ्क इट्स अल अबाउट द्याट हो कस्तो भन्दाखेरि चाहिँ एभ्री स्मल डिसिजनमा बिङ कन्सियस इज बिङ सस्टेनेबल हुन्छ नि तपाईँको जुन चाहिँ यो रिलिजन्समा स्पिरिचुअलिटीको कुरा हुन्थ्यो तपाईँको हाउ पिपल टक अबाउट वेन ओल्ड एज यु आर यु नो कन्ज्युमिङ लेस यु डोन्ट आस्क फर मोर आई थिङ्क द्याट्स द कन्सेप्ट अफ सस्टेनेबिलिटी हुन्छ नि यु कन्ज्युम बट कन्सियसली सो द्याट तपाईँको त्यो एउटा सानो कामले जस्तै तपाईँले एउटा ऱ्यापर त्यो डस्टबिनमा नफ्याँकेर चाहिँ त्यो ऱ्यापर 10 दिन जस्तो चलाएर त्यसको बादमा मेबी मेकिङ समथिङ आउट अफ इट अर मेबी देन डिस्पोजिङ इट अल्सो मेक्स अ डिफरेन्स नि किन तपाईँले एउटा ऱ्यापर ल्यान्डफिलमा जानुभन्दा रोक्यो
यो त भयो इन्डिभिजुअल लेभलको कुरा सो एज अ सोसाइटी एन्ड एज अ नेसन एज अ होल एज अ युथ तपाईँलाई के लाग्छ क्लाइमेट चेन्ज इस्युजको बारेमा एज अ नेसन एउटा गभर्मेन्टले चाहिँ के गर्न सक्छ
I think governments can do is the same kind of habits that we approach in an individual manner उनीहरूले कम्युनिटीमा चाहिँ प्रमोट गर्नु पर्यो जस्तै तपाईँको गभर्मेन्ट अफिसेसमा इफ दे मेक इट कम्पलसरी फर एभ्रीबडी टु क्यारी देयर ओन टिफिन बक्सेस और यु नो वाटर बोटल्स आई थिङ्क द्याट हेल्प्स अ लट तपाईँले त्यो पेपर वर्क बेसी नगरेर because in today's digital era like how we are recording it here in a studio why can't we have you know the files passed on via email WhatsApp is there and there are so many other mediums where you can just send it over why do you need to print the piece of paper हुन्छ नि तपाईँको digital signatures पनि हुन्छ and even privacy को मामलामा it just goes from one person to other there's no third person involved between exchanging the papers हुन्छ नि so that can be done as government paperless work what government can do is encourage people to do plantation drives त्यो रिजर्भ फरेस्ट रिजर्भ एरियाजलाई अझै नकाट्दिनुहोस् होइन अर्बनाइजेसन त गर्नु तर यु नो किप इन माइन्ड द्याट तपाईँले कहीँनिर रुख काट्दैछ भने अर्को ठाउँमा रुख प्लान्ट गरिदिनुहोस् होइन एन्ड इट्स हाई टाइम द्याट वी थिङ्क अबाउट क्लाइमेट चेन्ज बिकज वी क्यान सी द इफेक्ट्स अफ इट you can see that you know Sikkim which used to receive rainfall for 10 months in a year now त्यो तपाईँको rainfall को intensity पुरा घटिसकेको छ it's become very hot this was not a hot place नि तपाईँको oranges चाहिँ यत्रो मात्रै उम्रिने ठाउँ हो अहिले चाहिँ यत्रो ठुल्ठुलो हुँदैछ मतलब because the climate has changed तपाईँको you can see the number of increasing forest fires all over the world होइन तपाईँको you can see that the oceans को water level is rising marine life is dying तपाईँको स्ट्रको मैले भने नि मैले आई डिड अ केस स्टडी विथ माई फ्रेन्ड्स अन दिस कि वाइ प्लास्टिक स्ट्रज आई गट दिस थिङ टु लिभ भन्दाखेरि चाहिँ त्यो स्ट्र चाहिँ यस्तो पाराले अड्किदिँदो रहेछ कि तपाईँलाई निकाल्नु पनि साह्रो हुन्छ नि तपाईँको ओसनमा गएर चाहिँ माइक्रोप्लास्टिक्स चाहिँ इट्स भेरी डिफिकल्ट टु रिमुभ इट फ्रम दि ओसन नि एन्ड फर मराइन एनिमल्स अब स्पेसली टर्टल्स उनीहरूको चाहिँ नाकमा पसिदिँदो रहेछ एन्ड दे क्यानट रिमुभ इट बिकज दे डोन्ट ह्याभ ह्यान्ड्स लाइक अस नि हो अन्त वेन यु रिमुभ इट अल्सो तपाईँले निकाल्नु सक्छन् किनभने उनीहरूको चाहिँ त्यो टिस्युमा अड्किँदो रहेछ सो त्यस्तो पाराले गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ स्मल थिङ्स लाइक आवर टुथ ब्रसेस त्यो तपाईँले टुथब्रस त्यत्तिकै फ्याँकिदिनु भयो विदाउट रिमुभिङ द ब्रिसल अन्त त्यो स्ट्रेटलाई अलिकति भए पनि बर्न नगरेन भने चाहिँ के हुँदो रहेछ भन्दाखेरि चाहिँ त्यो स्यान्डहरूतिर गएर अड्क्यो त्यहाँदेखि त्यत्तिकै बस्छ त्यो त्यहाँ प्लास्टिक हो सो डिग्रेड पनि हुँदैन सो इट अफेक्ट्स द्याट होल इन्भाइरोमेन्ट सो एज अ गभर्मेन्ट एज अ कम्युनिटी आई थिङ्क वी निड टु लर्न कि there are some things that we are overdoing maybe conventionally easy cha plastic but we have to look at that animals are not happy because of it it's really affecting wildlife huncha ni tapako a lot of animals dying just because of our plastic consumption त्यो माइक्रोप्लास्टिक्सले जस्तै तपाईँ बर्थडे पार्टिजमा वान थिङ द्याट आई कुड एन्करेज इज त्यो जुन चाहिँ पार्टी पपर्स हुन्छ नि मेबी यु कुड स्टप युजिङ द्याट किनभने त्यो चाहिँ के हो भन्दाखेरि तपाईँको एकछिन 1 सेकेन्ड 2 सेकेन्डको मजा मात्रै हो एन्ड यु जस्ट लिटर द होल प्लेस एन्ड इट्स भेरी फाइन प्लास्टिक त्यो प्लास्टिक चाहिँ कस्तो हुन्छ भन्दा तपाईँ यु क्यानट सेपरेट इट फ्रम अदर पार्टिकल्स क्या अन्त तपाईँको सेपरेसन इज अ बिग प्रब्लम सो इट जस्ट स्टेज इन द इन्भाइरोमेन्ट फर हन्ड्रेड्स अफ इयर्स बिफोर इट डिग्रेड्स फाइनली सो द्याट्स द काइन्ड अफ प्रब्लम्स द्याट वी फेस as a community what we can take up is like just मैले भने इन्डिभिजुअली त्यो चाहिँ तपाईँ एडअप गर्दै जानु जस्तै मैले घरमा वेस्ट राइट डिस्पोजल गर्दैछु भने आई टिच माई नेबर अल्सो देन मेबी वी क्यान ह्याभ विकली मिटअप्स इन नेबरहुड्स कि ओके वाट आर वी गोइङ टु डु दिस विक लेट्स ह्याभ अ प्लान्टेसन ड्राइभ इन दिस एरिया लेट्स डु कम्पोस्टिङ हैन यो जग्गा चाहिँ लेट्स अल कन्ट्रिब्युट सपोज द्याट बिलोङ्स टु समबडी ओके आई गिभ माई ल्यान्ड यु कन्ट्रिब्युट अ स्मल अमाउन्ट अफ मनी सो द्याट कम्पेन्सेट्स मी एन्ड इट डज ग्रेटर गुड फर द सोसाइटी सो दोज काइन्ड अफ प्रोजेक्ट्स क्यान बी टेकन अप
So if you are a policy maker, what policies will you implement?
The first policy that I'd implement in a state of Sikkim would be paperless work in the office because I find that too many, printing and all of that stuff is being done. So I think ink, paper, सबैको wastage हो. Emails ले गर्दा हुन्छ जस्तै तपाईं you want to submit a leave application त्यो गर्नु. The second, that most important one here is I would look into how roads, dams and all big infrastructures build हुँदाखेरि चाहिँ त्यो इन्भाइरोमेन्टल रिपोर्ट जुन चाहिँ एउटा असेसमेन्ट गर्छ त्यो चाहिँ भेरी इम्पोर्टेन्ट हुनुपर्ने किन भन्दाखेरि चाहिँ वाट आई हेभ सिन इज जस्तो ड्याम्स बनाउँदाखेरि तपाईँ यु डोन्ट सी द ड्यामेज डन लेटर यु सी द ड्यामेज द्याट्स बिङ डन वाइल कन्स्ट्रक्टिङ तर कन्स्ट्रक्सन सकेर 10 वर्ष त्यो ड्याम चल्दा के बिगार्छ अरू त्यो कुराहरू पनि एसेस गर्नुपर्ने सो लाइक वी हेभ अ लट अफ प्रब्लम्स विथ रोड्स होइन सो रोड्स बनाउँदाखेरि वाइ डोन्ट वी बिल्ड सच रोड्स विच डोन्ट डिस्ट्रोय द होल प्लेस किनभने तपाईँ के गर्दैछ भन्दाखेरि त्यो ल्यान्डस्लाइड्सले गर्दाखेरि नट ओन्ली आर कम्युनिट इज अफेक्टेड तर युआर डिस्ट्रोइङ अ होल ल्यान्डस्केप देयर फर तपाईँको ट्रिज झऱ्यो त्यहाँनिर कति एनिमल्स थियो होला के थियो होला त्यो सबै त मऱ्यो तपाईँको त्यो डल्लै डिस्ट्रोय हुँदाखेरि चाहिँ आई थिङ्क इट्स नट ओन्ली अफेक्टिङ अस बट देम एज वेल सो दोज आर द टू पोलिसिज द्याट आई क्यान थिङ्क अफ नाउ
Okay, so Sikkim is a biodiversity hotspot.
हजुर
Eastern Himalaya ko होइन so what you have to say to everyone अब कतिजना त still they have heart for animals है so biodiversity hotspot we have to preserve भन्ने सब at the same time कतिजनाको यो छ कि we have to mitigate with it भन्ने चाहिँ यसमा चाहिँ तपाईँ के भन्नुहुन्छ
I think you can find the right balance. That's what I'd say. Ki if you work towards it to make environmentally sustainable projects, हैन तपाईको dams हरु बनाउँदा roads बनाउँदा buildings whatever construction or whatever activity takes place if we keep in mind that okay if we are destroying this part of nature this part we are recovering हैन यता चाहिँ मैले रुख काट्दै छु भने मैले सिङताममा रुख काटेर चाहिँ रम्फूमा एउटा रुख रोपिदिए हुन्छ नि सो इफ आई एम डुइङ द्याट काइन्ड अफ अ ब्यालेन्स्ड वर्क आई थिङ्क यु क्यान कम टु मिटिगेट विथ द थिङ कि इट्स नट अलवेज द्याट एक्सप्लोइटेसनै गर्नुपर्छ भन्ने पनि छैन इट्स नट लाइक वी हेभ टु मेक इट ग्याङटोक द नेक्स्ट डेली or something but I'm sure you can if the right kind of people associate and the right kind of mindset the eco-friendly mindset sets in I think they can
so Sikkim ko कुरा गर्नु पर्दाखेरि so what are the problems that you see around Sikkim मा चाहिँ तपाईलाई कुन चाहिँ एकदम गहन लाग्छ जुन चाहिँ चेन्ज ल्याउनु पर्छ र ल्याउन सक्छ जस्तो चाहिँ
number 1 is road transportation किनभने तपाईको transportation affect if we don't have good roads and good commute तपाईको के हुन्छ भन्दा त्यो सस्टेनेबल जति नै कुरा गरे भने एभ्रिथिङ को कस्ट विल गो अप तपाईको whenever transportation cost goes up overhead बढेपछि everywhere price rise हुन्छ so people then तपाईको pinch feel हुँदैछ भने you won't go for sustainable things because as it is they are more expensive than conventional हैन तपाईको jute bag किन्दाखेरि प्लास्टिक भन्दा महँगो पर्यो so अझै तपाईको प्राइस बढ्यो भने त then that's out of reach for you so that's one you should look at good transportation हैन at least एउटा good connectivity एउटा proper airport proper railways proper roads हैन त्यतिको चाहिँ हुनुपर्ने The second problem that I see that is emerging is the waste management. Tapako hamrai yanira the GMC truck comes very less like it comes maybe once a week I think. Once a week for wet and once a week for dry. Tyo khalke system cha. Tara I don't think that's a viable system that's made. Kinabhane I see my own house a lot of waste gets generated in a day itself. So keeping that wet waste for 3-4 days is not possible for everyone. I think that's what I've seen in most houses where they have resorted to throwing it to the jhodas or huncha ni rati niskera tyo nali ma halde gareko I have seen that and in my own home I have tried to do as much as composting as possible but I saw that it's not a viable idea so waste management is something that needs to be looked at yahanira ki maybe tyo landfill ke problem pani solve garda bhayo हैन you can shift it to a new place or त्यहीँनिर you can redevelop it waste collection अर्कै पाराले maybe सबैको घरमा compost को दियो GMC had distributed also but I don't think there was enough awareness because त्यो तपाईको जुन चाहिँ GMC ले compost को bins दिएको थियो I could see that somebody was putting rice in it or some poor houses they got it for storing water which is not that नि हैन त्यो purpose को लागि दिएकै हैन so those kind of awareness चाहिँ हुनु पर्ने अर्को कुरा चाहिँ यहाँनिर मान्छेलाई अवेयर बनाउनु पर्यो तपाईले बिफोर यु बिकज गभर्नमेन्ट क्यान डु अ लट अफ थिङ हैन तपाईले एउटा प्रोजेक्ट पास गर्यो पोलिसी पास गरी गर्न सक्छ तर अनलेस एन्ड अन्टिल द पिपल जोइन इन त्यो काम हुनु सक्दैन. So you have to spread awareness to the people. So I'd request everyone कि you be aware. हुन्छ नि के हुँदैछ, at least you don't have to check the news every day or be aware of everything, तर at least what's going on in your own neighborhood and your state, I think that's something that we all need to know.
You also talked about going digital, right? त्यो चाहिँ बिस्तारै सबैले एडाप्ट गरिराख्नै भएको छ. So just deleting a mail also adds a lot to nature भन्छ नि हैन?
हजुर.
So what do you have to say for that?
Oh, that comes as a data problem. किनभने तपाईको too much of data also affects the environment भन्छ, because there are many aspects to it. तर I don't feel that is a problem that will emerge soon. कि हामी जबसम्म fully digital भएको हुँदैन त्यो problem I don't think it comes often. तपाईको unnecessary data you can always delete, and that option is always there for you. But for now, if you just move into digital, I think that will be helping much more. किनभने तपाईको त्यो paper र त्यो mail को जुन चाहिँ effect छ त्यो बहुत कम्ती हो compared to wasting that amount of paper.
So talking about 4G जुन चाहिँ 5G आउने कुरा छ, यसमा चाहिँ के भन्नु छ तपाईलाई?
I don't know much about that technology, but what I'd say is I hope they look into the environmental aspects of it, because I do know the effects of radiation. हुन्छ नि तपाईको जतिवटा satellites and त्यो telecommunication systems आउँछ, I've heard that and I've read about this कि birds लाई पुरा affect पर्छ. किनभने उनीहरुको त्यो there are some birds who travel just because of the signal that they send. हुन्छ नि अब जस्तै bats, how they travel भन्दा they send a signal and whenever it touches object, that's how they know the distance. तपाईको त्यो के रे रेडिएसन र त्यो नेटवर्क टावर्सले चाहिँ त्यो अफेक्ट गर्छ, तपाईको त्यो डिस्टर्ट गरिदिन्छ. हुन्छ नि त्यसले गर्दाखेरि that's also affecting animals a lot and even human beings. हैन, it is said that you keep your phone by your bedside, it affects you. हैन, तपाईको वाइफाई 24 hours on हुने, all of these things are also there. I don't know, I'm not an expert on this issue, but I do know that the coming communication systems are, I think, much more efficient. Don't know exactly about the environmental aspects to it, but I hope they look into it. These are not some things that we have in our control. So I'd say that hopefully they'll look into the aspects and look at nature as well.
Alright, now coming back to you again. So तपाईले recently जुन चाहिँ mentorship हरु गर्नुभयो, and jury member पनि हुनुहुन्थ्यो. So how was the experience? अलिकति डिटेलमा.
I had to mentor around 100 plus students. I gave a presentation and I got a chance to interact with them, because the presentation time in conference is normally very short. So उनीहरुले सबै questions गरेको answer गर्नु पाउँदैन. So I gave them my contact and they contacted me later about that. I helped them with the presentations. It was very interesting because this was a first for me. Otherwise, I was the one participating to make SDG ideas. हुन्छ नि यो projects and presentations. This was the first time I was as a mentor and judging that. So when I was a part of the jury also, it was difficult for me because I am not an expert. I never call myself an expert on such issues. So what happens is your idea is great, but when you are looking at the two ideas, I don't know whom to give more marks or whom should I say better. त्यो गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ I think that was a new experience. And one more thing that I learned from them, this is also how I can present it. Okay, this is how it's done. That kind of learning experience. So it was a very good give and take. I gave them what I knew and I learned a lot from them as well.
So Tathagat तपाईले रिशालसँग पनि पार्टनरशिप गरिकन चाहिँ मेन्टरशिप गर्नुभयो 1 to 12 को लागि. यसको बारेमा भनिदिनुस्.
Okay, so me and my partner Rishal Pandey, we founded this mentorship platform called Knowledge Buddy. हामीले चाहिँ जहिले पनि what we noticed was यो कुरा पहिलेदेखि persisting थियो कि classroom education हुन्थ्यो, तपाईको स्पोर्ट्समा पनि there are coaching academies and so many opportunities are there. तर when it comes to debate, public speaking, quizzing, there's nobody to mentor you कि यसरी गर्छ, न्यूज यसरी फलो गर्छ, न्यूजबाट यो पिक गर्नु पर्यो, when you go to the stage, this is how you present yourself, what is the most effective way of saying it. हुन्छ नि, those kind of things, I think we were deprived of it because we only had our school co-teachers who used to tell us on that, and it's not like they had a full time with us. They could also not give us much of their time. So we thought that why not your space ma, why not build a entrepreneurial venture, and he approached me with this idea, and then we worked on it. And right now also the mentorship sessions are going on, and it's very fun, teaching kids. It's a really fun experience because you get a lot of energy from them हुन्छ नि तपाईको डल एनर्जीलाई कस्तो ब्राइटन गरिदिन्छ when you see a kid smiling हुन्छ नि and I have realized कि it's only the opportunity that they were lacking because I've seen a vast improvement in them त्यो स्कुलमा र घरमा मात्रै गएर होला कि दे couldn't get through these kind of platforms हुन्छ नि उनीहरुको स्किल्स छ तर कसैले उनीहरुको त्यो स्किल्स अप्रिशिएट गर्दिएन हुन्छ नि त्यो खालको एक्सपिरियन्स चाहिँ मैले देखेको छु and it's a good learning platform for anyone who would like to join and yeah I hope to do better in the coming days.
That's such a great job that you are doing. I really appreciate. So Tathagat, who inspires you most?
I don't have like specific inspiration as such. Like people all around inspire me, like in every small ways. I think my biggest inspiration would be my parents because I've seen them struggle. I've seen them come from a place of nowhere to where they have established themselves now. So I take that as an inspiration. I take inspiration in some icons as well. Like you look at some people doing exceptionally well. Like the great leaders out there, like you talk about a person like Nelson Mandela, or you talk about Mahatma Gandhi, or you talk about Abdul Kalam. These are great leaders who I do take inspiration from in what ways life should be lived. But no specific inspiration like a person. And one thing that I've slowly come to realize is your biggest inspiration can be only yourself. So if you believe in yourself, I think that will give you the biggest drive to do anything.
Okay, so what is your mool mantra?
The one quote that stayed with me and that's always been a pushing factor for me is one which one of my school teachers taught me. That's something that my dad also keeps telling me, that the show must go on. In life, whatever happens, there are roadblocks, there are highs, lows, but at the end of the day, the show must go on.
Okay, what is the difference between your global audience and audience of Sikkim?
Not much of a difference because it's just that there's a language barrier actually. With them I can only converse in English, but here it becomes easier for me because even in my local language like in Nepali or Hindi I can explain it to them. So it becomes much more easier if they don't understand the local, but for global it becomes really difficult because I don't know their language.
So can you share with us one experience that you were trying to explain what you are doing and कसैले तपाईलाई हुन्छ नि अलिकति अपोज गरेको जस्तो कुनै यस्तो इन्सिडेन्ट भएको छ तपाईसँग?
I don't think
locally
I don't think त्यस्तो अपोज त कसैले गरेको छ तर some people like even in my friend circle when I give this idea they do tell me that it's not something viable हुन्छ नि जस्तै अब त्यो के रे it takes time भन्ने खालके कुरा चाहिँ गरेको छ उनीहरुले which I agree because हुन्छ नि it's not something that will happen all just तपाईं फ्लिप गरेर चेन्ज गर्न सक्नु हुँदैन आफ्नो पर्सनालिटी हो so it does take time. But what I feel is if you put an effort त्यो त्यत्रो टाइम लाग्दैन क्या जुन चाहिँ the kind of thing that people say that it'll take years of efforts. I don't think that for me if you make up your mind for it I think it will gradually come over you.
You welcomed change in yourself, right? So while doing so कुनै यस्तो कमेन्ट्स आको तपाईलाई लाइक तपाईले कसैले केही भनिराखेको जुन चाहिँ तपाईले अलिकति
yeah like when I do make mistakes like हुन्छ नि अब every time I'm not conscious हुन्छ नि अब every day it's very difficult to be so sometimes like I forgot to throw it I forget to throw it in the bin or maybe there was no bin around हुन्छ नि त्यस्तो खालके प्रब्लम हुँदाखेरि चाहिँ अब somebody just teasing you कि अरे you are the global ambassador how can you be that त्यो चाहिँ it hits sometimes but as much as I try and as much as I want to I do हुन्छ नि there are sometimes I also falter किनभने अब हुन्छ नि sometimes it's a very tiring day and तपाईं you are thinking about something else त्यो that piece of whatever that's there with you that's not something that matters हुन्छ नि there are other things in life that matter for you so त्यो खालके decisions do come across but as a whole if I slowly start making these changes as I made and now it's come more easily to me I think हुन्छ at the end of the day you end up being conscious and the lifestyle continues क्या हो तपाईको चेन्ज हुन्छै हुन्छ.
Rapid fire round त्यस्तो गरौँ ल. Who is your favorite actor?
Actor I would say Amir Khan.
Favorite book?
Favorite book The Power of Now. I've recently caught this book and not finished as yet but it's turned out to be
favorite author?
Favorite author I don't have any one specific. But if I would go back to my childhood days, Agatha Christie, I loved her novels.
Favorite color?
Green.
Favorite food?
Food. I'm pretty much a foodie, so I don't have a favorite food. Like you place any food in front of me and I'll have.
Favorite destination?
No specific as such.
Favorite quote?
Favorite quote? Yeah, the show must go on. That's something that I even tell others.
Oh yeah, favorite song?
I don't have a specific favorites, but time and again, like I have a favorite musician though, that's Adele. I love to listen to her songs. So right now maybe Hello.
Favorite teacher?
That's a difficult pick. I don't because school mapani I had few teachers who were very close to me. I didn't pick from any of them. Even in college I had like my mentor and other teachers pretty close to me, so I don't have a specific favorite.
Favorite personality?
I have two. One is Jacqueline Fernandez. I'm a big fan of her, and other is the singer Dua Lipa.
Who is your favorite political leader?
As of now, none. In the current scenario, I don't have any favorite political leader. Earlier, I did have one where I loved Atal Bihari Vajpayee because he was a true statesman.
Okay, what are the magazines that you are following, Aili?
Here, I don't get any subscriptions as such, so there's no magazine that I follow.
E-magazines and e-papers?
Outlook. That's something that I look through, or otherwise I'm going through the Times magazine, the Times of India.
So now talking about your future, right? You economics ma graduate hunu bha. So aba chai uta chai ke गर्ने सोच्नु हुँदैछ?
Most probably I'll be going for a master's in economics. I might be choosing quantitative economics, and I want to continue research. So I would maybe be pursuing a doctor in philosophy as well, a PhD. I would be pursuing economics that way. But I have also kept my options open that maybe I'll be trying for civil services as well. So keeping my options open, tara मेरो focus centrally economics है sir.
So best wishes.
Thank you so much.
So youth sir like just हेरिराख्नु भएको छ अहिले उहाँहरुलाई चाहिँ के मेसेज दिन चाहनुहुन्छ?
Be conscious of who you are and try to be more responsible in the society. I think that's the simplest message that I can give them.
To the general public?
To the general public, wake up. I think we need more people to come into platforms and speak up. So, it's the government can do as much in their capacity. At the end of the day, they are also humans working in the government. So, as long as we wait for them, nothing's gonna happen. So, why not we participate? Why can't the public come to the streets? Why can't they come into these social media platforms, speak up, give their ideas, issues, suggestions? I think as a collective effort, we can do much more.
How can one connect with you?
Through my email, tathagat50@gmail.com. You can connect through that, or you can connect on Facebook or Instagram. I'm there as well. You can find me easily, Tathagat Sharma. And I live here in Daragaon, Tadung. I'll be mostly in town, so for people who know, you can connect that way as well.
So भविष्यमा चाहिँ तपाईले अझै यस्तो workshops-हरु सिक्किममा गर्ने सोच्नु भएको छ कि छैन?
हजुर, I have a lot of plans right now. Like Sikkim Chronicle, when they approached me also, they were also telling me about how the summit could be held here itself. And I have approached people in the government as well. There are youth assembly candidates, Yanira, and the ones who went as delegates to the US. They are also here, some of them who participated. So I want to collaborate with them. For now, COVID pandemic is a problem. So let's hope that the situation gets better, and maybe I'll be holding workshops very soon.
So this is all about Thoughtful Thursday. Thank you so much, Tathagat.
Thank you.
And I wish you all the best for all the future
Thank you so much for inviting me, and thank you to all the viewers.
So we hope that आजको Thoughtful Thursday ले हजुरहरुको मन अनि मस्तिष्कमा अलिकति भए पनि असर देखाएको छ. So आजको मेसेज यही छ, let's go sustainable every day in our lifestyle. अनि यसको साथमा मलाई पनि बिदा दिनुहोस्. We meet you on next Thursday with another thoughtful talks. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.